Pranams to all brothers and sisters. In this session, I would like to explain the importance of zero in the context of spirituality. I hope the session would be useful for us as spiritual seekers and help us practice the Sahaj Marg system with more rigor, urgency, and purpose. What Babuji said about zero. Here, Babuji is hinting at the qualities of a spiritual guide, which is utmost humility through the paradox of smallness being the greatness. But this smallness, when engaged to the service of souls, it makes a life transforming exponential difference of those who are gracefully receiving this service. I'm going to take you with few examples of attaching zero in the front. Here I am putting 0 ahead of 1, and you can see that 1 becomes 10. In another way, we can think that a sweet orange has become a pack of 10 sweet oranges with the help of 0 in the front. Just to make it a bit more clear, I'll take you with another example. Here again, I am putting 0 ahead of 1 and the number becomes 10. However, the object here is a guava, and you are seeing that a sweet guava is becoming a pack of 10 sweet guavas with the help of 0 in the front. 0 did not mind what fruit it is. It simply produced 10 fruits of the same variety of that fruit. One more example of putting 0 in the front. However, instead of 1, I am taking a negative 1 in this case. So a negative 1 followed by 0 has become a negative 10. It means there is a multiplication of 10 even in this case. To exemplify, if minus 1 is represented by a bottle of poison, it simply gives 10 bottles of poison. Again here, 0 did not mind of the object. It is simply multiplying. Looks like it is telling tathastu to everyone, isn't it? So the observation so far, when I am attaching 0 ahead of something, it is increasing the potent or the quantity of that object. Positive becomes more positive and negative becomes more negative. Babuji mentioned somewhere that a chore becomes a pakka chore with more transmission. The effect seems quite comparable, isn't it? Now in this example, I am putting 0 before the number 1. In the previous examples, 0 was put ahead of the number itself. So in this case, the number 1 remains number 1. There is no change in the value of the number. In another way, a sweet orange remains a sweet orange only. There is no growth in the number or the quantity of the orange. This is quite strange, isn't it? I heard it somewhere. Let him be your real goal and always in front of you. Let him drive you rather than you drive him. It makes some sense, isn't it? In this slide, I'm trying to depict how a typical progress trajectory may look like for an Abhyasi. Abhyasi would start his journey with spiritual practice and would progress incrementally from 1 to 2 to 3, etc. till the number 9. It is slow but steady progress. Then he would take another step and go to the number 10. At this stage, he has been able to attract Master's attention. The remembered is now remembering him. Master is seated in the front, 1 followed by 0. This we have seen in the previous slide, that when 1 followed by 0 happens, it produces the number 10. This is phenomenal. This is a turning point in the spiritual journey of the Abhyasi. Next, the Abhyasi would continue to practice and convert 1 into 2, and thus a 10 becomes a 20 and a 20 becomes a 30. Progress has started by leaps and bounds with increment of 10. Thus, he would reach to 90 and then hit a century, 100. He has got his master's attention firmly fixed on him. The next level, progress happens faster and faster, as now progress is happening with increment of 100. This progress continues, and in every higher level, his progress is even faster than the previous level. The journey has become accelerated in the rarefied space, and he is thoroughly focused on his goal. And you can see that the progress is aided by the master. The progress has become exponential. The same progress trajectory is being represented here in the form of a graph. You can see that every level the progress is even more accelerated. And those levels of progress with various accelerations are being represented by the verticality of the graph lines. The journey is not over yet. Let us see in the next slide what it means. Zero is quite negligible and zero adds exponential value for others. Our masters help Apaches with exponential progress. They are immensely valuable for others and they are the epitome of humility. Masters enrich life by transmission and they are dedicated to the cause of humanity. Masters are negligible for themselves and they serve people according to their need. So you can see that there is a lot of equivalence of zero and the master. Our masters are truly the epitome of humility. Babuji was so negligible in his physique, health, and wealth that it was very easy for a stranger to completely neglect and overlook him. But when given a chance to serve, they are truly magnanimous, making Himalayan transformation to the life of the seekers. So is the zero, always adding exponential value when put in front. Now Babuji has told somewhere that I create masters, not slaves. What does it mean? Is he hinting us to become zero again? What happens to all the spiritual wealth that we have gathered so far? Let us park this puzzle for the time being and see how to become a zero again in the next. Simple math where a number 1 is being multiplied with 0 and it produces another 0. In the spiritual context, when you multiply the qualities of God in you, you become negligible like Him. Another example, here the number 1 is being divided by a very big number or triple times 9 followed by triple times 9 and followed by 2 times 9. And the output becomes almost equal to 0. You can consider that to be a 0 right now. It means when you spread yourself more and more, you become negligible. You become 0. Isn't it our masters doing it all the time? They are serving the souls by spreading them into each and every heart. Omnipresence by all terms and means, isn't it? Another example, here the number 0 is being divided by a very big number and it produces another 0. It means when God is spread into many, everyone receives the whole of it. Isn't it a beauty? It sounds like the infinite ocean whose water never dries up, isn't it? 0 is showing the property of being infinite. Some more observations. Unless you practice, you cannot have divine qualities. And we have seen that in the previous slides that with individual practice, we have become 2 from 1 and 3 from 2. And with continuous guidance, blessings, and support from our master, we are exponentially increasing our progress in the spiritual field, having more and more divine qualities. Unless you imbibe divine qualities, you cannot become negligible and humble, because our egos will not allow us to be invisible, negligible, and humble. Unless you become negligible and humble, you cannot spread yourself more and more and serve many. Unless you spread yourself more and more, you cannot serve the souls in unlimited way. Now let us see how spiritual practice that we are supposed to do is an important part in this whole story. Practice helps us to recognize, internalize, and interiorize the divine within. All our expressions become the inspiration of innermost faith rather than the compulsion of fear. With cleaning, we remove the burden of samskaras and tendencies and make our vrittis aklishta, means purified. With every meditation we do, we traverse some distance in the direction of the source. We experience that in every meditation and satsangs, isn't it? With constant remembrance, we keep ourselves onboarded in the train which Master is the driver of. Morning meditation of 1 hour still leaves us for the rest of the day to continue that journey. Constant remembrance is the name of that journey. Now you got the best driver in the form of the Master. You got the best train, the methods that masters have provided us. And you got an expressway because your path is clean. There is no impediments in front of you because you have cleaned all your vrittis, sanskaras, and the burden of tendencies. What stops you to finish your journey now? There is no speed limit on the expressway. It is up to you at what speed you would like to proceed. The key to it is your own practice, all limbs of the practice with will, faith, and confidence like never before. From mere practice, culminate to the essence of practice by taking part in nature's work. Our mission gives us plenty of opportunities with voluntary work. We have to wholeheartedly participate in it. Stay focused and enjoy this infinite journey which you have already undertaken. Let us switch to next gear. It may be much shorter than you think. With that, humble pranams to all. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any suggestion, query, or you may need a discussion. I'd be happy to participate. Thanks again. Bye bye.